Hello and welcome to the Millionaire Mindset for Life show. I'm your host, Jim DeSico, and today we are excited as usual. We are so blessed to have these fantastic guests. Our special guest, Phoenix, and his wife, Kristine. These two are an amazing couple. They're walking the walk, walking the talk, as they say. Phoenix being a consultant to celebrities, representative, as well as a spiritually evolved man, both of them. And also loving husband and father. And above all, today we're celebrating the release of his book. He's an author and speaker and coach and mentor and all of the great things that happen when people adopt the concepts of Millionaire Mindset for Life. So once again, we had him on the show. When were we on the show? It was like maybe 2 years back.
Oh, man.
About 2 years back, yeah.
Exactly.
That was an awesome episode, and here we are back again. I love having guests back because there's such an interval of progress, and that's remarkable to me. So, Phoenix, just really quickly, I know you could do it best, but share with our audience a little bit about yourself and what's happening for you these days.
Sure, that'd be fine. Well, actually, of course, I'm Phoenix, the one and only. I have worked with so many different celebrities around the world. I have traveled the world, and I have also life coached certain celebrities. As a matter of fact, I have life coached Tito Jackson, as a matter of fact. Mm-hmm. And then also speaking with different celebrities throughout my years from working with them by handling the marketing and promotions for the record companies, directly dealing with them, or either dealing with them direct as a publicist and setting up interviews, sending out press releases. And then from there, I decided to take another road with my life. I decided to embark upon what we call a whole new spiritual turning point for my life. And one day, or should I say, through this mystical dream that I had, it changed my life. And I feel something coming on roughly about possibly no more than about 20 years going back. But I had this magnificent dream about 5 years ago. And from that dream is what told me I was put here on this earth for a purpose. It's not to where I'm saying like so many people get this call in and they say we should do this with our life, or either God told me to do this. I just knew that the spirits were calling upon me and I had a purpose, and my mission was to spread consciousness, love, and somehow to awaken people to a different way of seeing life and embracing life.
Yeah. That is awesome. And, we're going to talk a little bit more about it as we get into the book, this new book, Phoenix Rising, which is it's releasing soon, but we'll talk about that a little bit more. One of the passages you speak about, and I want to touch upon it right now, is the culture of the celebrity world and Hollywood and the interval. I mean, I think it's interesting that while you were walking the spiritual path, you were actually deeply immersed, knee-deep in this world. Maybe you could share a little bit about the realities of that.
There's a chapter in my book, the Phoenix Rising, entitled Worship of the Lost Souls, Worshippers of the Lost Souls. And what that chapter speaks about is how society becomes so transfixed and so brainwashed on the illusion of the celebrity and the entertainment industry, so that to where they don't even realize who they are anymore, because they put these celebrities at the forefront as their God. And this is not what we're supposed to do. We were put here individually for a purpose and for who we are as ourselves. And they get caught up in that to where they don't even know who they are. Right. So when I speak about when I wrote about that chapter in the book, it was to enlighten and awaken the readers, so that if they happen to go through the same type of situation where they idolize, back in the day when people loved Sean Cassidy, David Cassidy, Elvis Presley, the Beatles, the fans slept, ate, and worshipped them, but somehow fans never got the opportunity to know who they were. And years go by, and all of a sudden you discover, wait a minute, I never had a life. I never knew who I was. And you got psychiatrists, you got mentors that somehow or another will bring that back into your life, and you discover it, and it's like being reborn again.
Yeah, and the interesting thing there is, as you pointed out in the book, which I think is so topical today, is that social media, while it's done so many wonderful things in connecting everybody so easily, it's bred sort of a pandemic of this celebrity sort of externalization
Exactly.
with everybody, and young people coming into it today having the discrimination to understand, where reality is and who they are, and that maybe you could touch a little bit upon that.
Well, of course, you have your experience too. I have listened to a lot of your radio programs, and I can tell just from speaking with you and just listening to your programs, you are a worldly man. You are conscious. A lot of the world are not conscious to what's going on in this industry. A lot of the world is not really even conscious of what's going on in our world today. But the answer to that question is, people, it is time that the world wake up. It is time. You know that phrase that Jack Nicholson used in the motion picture Batman, the 1989 movie Batman? And he said, what this world or what this town needs is an enema. And I know that's putting it kind of bold and kind of right in your face, but it's time for a cleansing. It's time for a healing. You have any intake on that, Kristine?
Well, yeah. I mean, going to, hello, everybody. Going to your chapter, The Worshippers, the Lost Souls here, it does touch upon the celebrity worshippers that they exhibit the same narcissistic characteristics and behavior as their favorite stars do. And then it also creates a very strong social detachment with these people from reality, from their friends, from their family, where they really start to create this concept in their mind that they have some sort of a realistic relationship with that person because they identify with them so much that they try to model everything they do, see, experience everything, very much like the celebrities that they worship. So it does create, it's almost like an addictive syndrome. It's fanaticism and obsession in the worst way. It's been titled celebrity worship syndrome, and it can overtake anybody, and they can literally become almost like zombie-like because they feel like their life is sustained by the life of that celebrity. Literally. Right,
exactly.
Yeah. And that's an amazing distinction. Tying into that is another section in the book, and we're probably going to scan through all the different sections because there's just so much valuable content in this. Sure. For everything from health and food and how to focus your mind and the another piece is that the artificialness, the superficialness of enhanced social media, enhanced imagery, photography, Photoshop, whatever it is, that it goes beyond the whole beauty or body shaming type of thing that they're trying
the natural and the natural and artificial, the chapter, correct?
The natural and the artificial, exactly. What that is, at least for me, what that was touching on is that when we see the cover of a magazine and there's a celebrity there or a model, supermodel, there's a natural sort of detachment to say, well, she's a supermodel or he's a bodybuilder. And these people are already, their career is this extreme condition of their physique. But now when we have average people that are enhancing themselves in these ways, some people that are social media celebrities, so to speak, they spend all their time trying to get these amazing shots that look like they were just random pictures. And so to create this illusion, like this is how they are all the time. And so it's creating more anxiety.
Well, should we say, like I said, there's not narcissism in it? Just look at society today. We've been brainwashed ever since the actual media, television, silent movie era. We've been brainwashed ever since day one of the entertainment industry. So, when you look at the children or the people today, people still have the fixation within their mind. Okay, this is how I should perceive myself. This is how I should look.
Perfection.
This is how I should live.
Yeah, perfection.
Right. Even like the television show Nip Tuck. Everyone wants to go to the Beverly Hills, the high price surgeons, plastic surgeons, to remetamorphose themselves on the outside, but not knowing who they are on the inside. So by becoming so brainwashed on the image of a perfect face, it's not how we are bred to be. This is not what we're born to be. So when you see, for example, models, they had the surgery to reconstructive with their face. And we say, wait a minute, I want to be just like that. I want to be perfect like that. How did she get her nose that way? How does her skin look so good? And oh my goodness, she done lost so much weight. Well, you know what? It's not because they always go to the gym and do it naturally, the way we're put on this earth to do. It's called the secret of weight loss, which is liposuction. You're talking chemicals, you know. Me personally, I can tell you, Jim, honestly, I've worked in this industry for over 35 years, and not once have I ever went under the knife, ever. Everything that you see about me is 100% natural through and through, by and by. What you see is what you get. But what I do on a spiritual level is try to constantly stay in shape, to keep myself physically and mentally balanced, so that if you believe within your mind, that's mind over matter, 24/7. You can't. Right, it's 24/7. But if you believe in yourself, it's mind over matter. You can metamorphose yourself spiritually so that it will show on the outside, on the physical level. And a friend will walk up to you and say, "Wait a minute, there's something different about you. What did you do to your face? What did you do to your body?" No, it wasn't chemically or surgically enhanced. It was called spiritually enhanced.
And what did we talk about today earlier about energy? How did that happen? How did this person basically start to transform? How?
Right. It's exactly what we're doing today. See, the three of us, I consider what me and you, my wife here, Kristine, what we're doing with Jim, we're forming what you call the pyramid. There's 3 points to the pyramid, and this energy, synergy is being passed, frequency-wise. We're raising our vibrations by speaking to one another. So what it is doing with me, you, and Jim speaking here, I'm going to feed off of Jim's energy. Why? Because Jim is putting out positive energy. And that energy is only going to cause me and make me want to accelerate my vibrations. But when my vibrations are high, it's being passed along. You can't give knowledge to someone. Right. You got to transfer it. You got to be able to transfer that knowledge. You got to be able to transfer that wisdom. But in order for you to get it and that energy, you have to be around that positive person. And Jim DeSico is one of them.
Yeah. Well,
absolutely.
I appreciate that. Just on the subject of the artificial beauty and everything, I mean, it's just my personal opinion. A woman in particular, if you want to talk about female attraction or that type of thing, that a woman that's energetically balanced, they've enhanced themselves organically through their energetic increase in frequency. There's something very beautiful about, it doesn't matter, a bulge, some gray, whatever it is. I mean, they're beautiful in their natural essence. I know it's just my opinion on that. But if you
it isn't. It isn't.
Even I as a woman agree with that. I'm not a young 21-year-old anymore. And, sometimes I make jokes about myself, but I do embrace my wrinkle. I do embrace a few gray hairs. I do embrace, the change of my body structure. And it's almost like I say, well, I've gained enough knowledge and wisdom to feel comfortable in my skin, even if my skin is not what the media perceives to be as perfection. But what radiates, as you're saying, from within is my spiritualness, the way I want to keep myself always motivated, positive. The way Phoenix is always positive. I feed off of his energy. He increases my energy, and it's twofold. People think he's 20, 30 years younger than him, and it shows. And it just rubs off on me. It's transferred.
Right, that's beautifully said. I appreciate that. And, again, from my mouth to Jim's ears while we're here on this interview, I must commend, by all means, before we even continue with this whole entire interview, I've got to not only commend you, Jim, but I've got to really commend your wife, because your wife is the perfect example of what the natural ability of what a woman beauty can be by taking care of herself inside as well as outside. And see, your wife displayed a beautiful display
naturally.
Naturally. Yeah, I have seen some
natural
of her segments.
holistic is perfect.
We are on live with Phoenix and Kristine, straight out of the hot zone in Phoenix, Arizona, broadcasting here from Manhattan Beach in California. We'll be back after this. I'm your host, Jim DeSico, Millionaire Mindset for Life. Stay with us. Spike up.
We all have a burning desire to be free from financial burdens. A better job might move you closer, but in order to truly be free, your money needs to work for you, even if you don't have much right now. We're talking passive income, money that comes to you from sources you've put in place to pay you while you're doing the things you truly enjoy with people you care about. Want to know how to get it? Find out in my new book, The Power of Passive Income. Inside the pages of this guide, you'll find specifics on how to discover and create opportunities, cultivate healthy relationships, and codify how you spend the most precious thing that even billionaires can't buy more of, your time. One reader says, The Power of Passive Income is a guide to personal happiness, a life-changing book that helps you realize where you stand and, more importantly, where you want to go. Pick up a copy of The Power of Passive Income by author and speaker Jim DeSico today. The Power of Passive Income, available now at Amazon.com and Barnes & Noble bookstores nationwide.
I'm William Shatner, and this is Jimmy. Animals like Jimmy are often left behind by people fleeing hurricanes, fires, floods, and earthquakes. These abandoned animals cannot survive on their own. If you must evacuate your home, please never leave an animal behind. If you absolutely cannot take your animal with you, never leave him helplessly chained or caged. Many animals die because they cannot escape fires or rising waters. Animals need your help. Thank you.
Call PETA today, 757-622-PETA.
And we're back. You're listening to Millionaire Mindset for Life. I'm your host, Jim DeSico. We're on live today with Phoenix and his wife, Kristine. We're talking about the spiritual, we're talking about the spiritual, energetic, a lot of these words, airy-fairy per se, but what it really comes down to is energy, energy, energy. Align your energy in yourself. And before the break, we were talking about the energetic alignment, the talismans, little things. You could have a little coin in your pocket, or if it's crystals or any type of object that you can associate this positive energy and affirmational energy, or ritual such as cleaning a certain thing, or taking a walk around a block every day, or tending to your garden, or whatever it is, and finding ways to reframe the experience in life to support everything about your experience. Because at the end of the day, it's what it is. You want a better life. You already have a better life by choosing that your life is great. Everything's great. And it's a game within yourself to improve. So Phoenix, let's continue this a little bit further. Let's talk about some of these other sections in the book. We talked about in this same way that the artificial and chemical, that we're also seeing role models being so exaggerated that they're detached from reality as well. And you made the analogy of like the original Hulk series was just Lou Ferrigno, and it was a big guy and all this. It was connected, and then the new Hulk is this giant thing that's not even
larger than life.
Yeah,
unrealistic.
It's a big disconnect there, and so. But we
the illusion.
Need people like Wonder Woman, right? Wonder Woman, the original Wonder Woman was a woman. It was
real. Yes.
Natural beauty, just doing superhero things, for our view and pleasure. But what we speak about here is really called an illusion. It's all an illusion. Yes, we need to be entertained. Yes, I sometimes like to sit down, and I will watch television, whenever I have time to sit down. But most of the time, I'm doing researching. I'm either, conferencing someone over the phone, or life coaching, or just reading. I love to read. I continue researching. But it's an illusion because the television, should I say, the social media put this in our face for so many years. This is all we know. And as I wrote in the book about the Incredible Hulk, which was the television show, the 1977, 78 television program, I grew up watching it. I was a young teenager at that time, young man. And so I was so excited. We took our family, we took our two sons, Frank and Trey, to the movie theater to see the new motion picture, The Hulk. And turns out they were so excited. They got in there and they enjoyed the movie. They came home. We kept talking about it. And sure enough, on this particular network station, I said, wow, the original television show is going to be on. So my son Trey was at school. So when he came in, I was telling him about it. I said, I want you to see this. And, he sat down. He was, anticipating it. He was happy, too, because he's going to see something at home. And when he sat and watched the program, the look that he had on his face, I didn't have a camera to capture it, but I should have. But the look on his face, it was shocking. Yes. It's like a child being told the truth about, let's say, Santa.
Bunny.
Right, yes. So, but he looked at me, and the first thing that he said after watching the program, when he metamorphosed into the Hulk from the character, Bruce Banner. He said, Dad. Yeah, he said, Dad. I said, yeah. He said, Dad, who is this? I said, what are you talking about? He said, does this supposed to be the Incredible Hulk? And I said, yeah. And he said, Dad, it's just a man. See, it was funny, yes. But Jim, when he said that, he was just a man, that solidified the truth about someone that's put into a false, fictitious image that is projected to us through our minds and getting it directly into our third eye, to where we are programmed off of what we see and say, this is how it should be, this is how we should look, or this is just the way it is. But I understood the fact of life at that time. And all it was just a man. So it doesn't matter how much money a person may have, no matter how much fame you may have, no matter where you live in, what the size of your house,
what
how
your
many
skills
are. You're still a human being, and you're no different and no better than the next person. Why? Because you put your leg in one pants leg at a time. You can put on one shoe at a time. Me and you and everyone else in this world are created equal under the creation of our Almighty Creator as human beings. Yes, some may be just slightly a little bit more smarter than the other and a little bit more different in color or hair or texture of shape of body, but we're still considered equal. And if we learn to focus on that and put our energies together, we could do wonders as human beings on this earth. But look at the Food and Drug Administration now. They do not even want us to discover, it's almost discovering the answer to youth and life. So you look at all of these crystals. My wife introduced me to, crystal healing and mind healing. But the Food and Drug Administration don't want the public to know about that. So they constantly will find ways to shut down holistic healers. These holistic healing, these holistic doctors, they've been going through so much hell. Yes, they've been going through so much hell dealing with the court system, the United States government. They have been dealing with it so much because they don't want you to know the truth. They don't want you to seek an alternative way to healing yourself and to living longer and to live a better life, but to do it naturally. They want to continue pumping you up with medication, pills, and telling you this is going to work for you. See, they do not
do it reliant upon it.
Right.
They don't money for big pharma.
Right. They do not heal you. They can't heal you. They can only give you something to suppress. So they're not healing you. They're not healing. Mm-hmm. They're not healing at all.
Right. Yeah, it's very true. One of the things that along those lines that is, and you're saying that the larger than life and this externalization again. I mean, for someone's listening and saying, well, and that we are created equal. What is the difference between, and you've touched these celebrities directly. You've seen them off stage most of the time. You've seen them in their homes. You've seen them in their personal circumstances. Maybe in a lot of times you've had to even cover for them.
Yes.
Maybe, basically, I guess, describing when somebody loses sight of that essence of what they truly are and what starts to happen, the externalization.
And it becomes all about the show. Whoever they are inside, doesn't matter. It even goes back to the old Saturday Night Live skit with Billy Crystal. It's better to look good than to feel good, darling. You know what I'm saying? And that's truly how they live, because it's all about the show and how they appear to the public. Because as soon as that, stage curtain closes or that door closes, they become, the reality kicks in, the age kicks in, whatever kicks in. The stage is now dark.
Yes, see, we have what we call the curtain have to come down. It comes a day when every clown have to take their makeup off. You cannot stay like that 24 hours, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. No one individual cannot stay on stage all day long. So if they do, which, like one particular celebrity I work with too, what happens is they become lost. So when they try to come back to the reality from out of the illusion that they perceive themselves to be from living in that type of world, or, going out to perform or to make these special appearances, when they step from out of the illusion back into the reality, they cannot function. It is as though somehow or another, like the Matrix, you happen to take that red pill or versus that blue pill. But when you take the pill to the truth, in other words, it is kind of detrimental to wake up a person that's been asleep all their life. Because when you're asleep all your life, just like a person just sleeping, and you go to wake them up and you startled them, they're going to wake up angry, frustrated, they're mad. You can't, you don't know what to expect because they've been startled, they've been shocked. So that's the same thing with some of the celebrities that I have worked with. Even certain people that have so much money, they don't know how to live a normal life because they're not accustomed to it, because they never gave themselves the opportunity to know what it's like to be just a human being, to be themselves. They don't know because they let themselves get so caught up in that whirlwind, they don't know how to come back. I have worked with so many of them, not to mention any names, but I have known so many different celebrities. I've seen them come off the stage. The minute the lights hit on, there they go. They're on, showtime. But I've seen them come off that stage. They can hardly stand. They can hardly speak. But see, they've done it all, not just for the show. And they say, I'm doing it because I'm doing it for the people. The fans, they love this, yes. But who loves you? Do you love yourself? And they've been doing it for 30, 50, 60 years. And you got to say, wait a minute. Haven't you gave enough of your time and enough of your energy to the fans, the people? When do you have time to replenish yourself and to live for self? And they usually don't. I've known some that perform a week, and the following week they didn't pass away because they do it for the love of the money and that fame. It's like a drug. They have so much power over them. They don't realize that they are self-empowered. But see, they relinquish that power and they give it to something that's totally not real. It is not real. See, yes, we know about, you can touch them, see them, and kiss them and hug them. Yes, we know about that. But what is truly, really real about the celeb? It's just an image. It's an image. That's all it is.
Enjoy the idolatry and the worshiping by the fans. And the money, comes hand in hand with it.
Right, right. Yeah.
But they're not being true to self.
Yes, and this is the thing about when we get back to the concepts, and again for the audience, millionaire mindset, not necessarily so centric on money, but wealth of abundance, of health and relationship and life and vigor, and even just being excited about life, being present. Another thing that you touched upon with the with all this, and very pointed content in your book, really a great work, lots of valuable information, talking about that this is such an addiction, such a stimulation of constant drip. This is the hamster pellets coming down the thing constantly. Here comes another email, here comes another text, here comes another thing. And normal life, the normal pace of life and the presence to just sit and be without eating, without doing, without checking, without texting, without and to just be and the natural progression of things in life. Life does model the rest of nature. As much as we'd like to separate, we're not. We're part of it. And so the process of a tree or a flower growing, the process of something being baked or preparation of something or preparing something naturally, building something with your hands, it takes time and craft and attention. And there's so much pleasure and enrichment in that process. And so instead of going out and buying another something and or hitting the gas accelerator, they're cool too. But to be able to get the contrast of that connection and the stillness and it
doesn't mean nothing. It doesn't mean anything. The only thing that matters is that you are at peace within yourself. You are able to go out and spread a message. Like what the work that you do is phenomenal, Jen. But it's helping people, and you give, not just giving back, but you were able to change one's life through your words or through your tone of voice. You are able to change one's life. You know you have done your job. And that's my mission. Like when I got the call, and my mission, yes, I have the word is called meditation or either praying, as if you will. I have seen change miraculously come over people. I have done it with them. I have laid my hands upon them, and I speak about this one particular woman that I have laid my hands on that passed away because, she used to be a big Smokey Robinson fan, and I never shared that story with him, but I wind up, getting to know this woman, and I promised that I would bring her in a surprise, and I brought her in this autograph from him. But because of the healing that I was able to give her peace of mind to deal with and accepting death. And I explained, death is not the end. It's a whole new beginning of a whole new side of what's about to begin. In other words, this is the end of the beginning, but the beginning of the end for you to start now. This is a new life. So where your journey will start on a spiritual level, once you leave this realm, you will be at no more of the physical pain. You will be at no more of the worryation. But yet, I was able to give this woman something. And she got gratitude, and she got the healing, and she received the power of it. So she was able to cross over, and my heart and my spirit know it was a cross to where there was no worry. It was simple and easy.
Right.
And this is way life is. So yes, it's sure we want, to say the money, the house, or whatever it may be. I'm content with what I have. But if you can get more, great. But make sure that you share. But if you can go out and help and heal one, you've done a hell of a job. Sure. Your mission while you're here on this earth will be completed. But the only thing you continue, you stand on that journey.
We are on live with Phoenix and Kristine, straight out of the hot zone in Phoenix, Arizona, broadcasting here from Manhattan Beach in California. We'll be back after this. I'm your host, Jim DeSico, Millionaire Mindset for Life. Stay with us.
We all have a burning desire to be free from financial burdens. A better job might move you closer, but in order to truly be free, your money needs to work for you, even if you don't have much right now. We're talking passive income, money that comes to you from sources you've put in place to pay you while you're doing the things you truly enjoy with people you care about. Want to know how to get it? Find out in my new book, The Power of Passive Income. Inside the pages of this guide, you'll find specifics on how to discover and create opportunities, cultivate healthy relationships, and codify how you spend the most precious thing that even billionaires can't buy more of, your time. One reader says, The Power of Passive Income is a guide to personal happiness, a life-changing book that helps you realize where you stand and, more importantly, where you want to go. Pick up a copy of The Power of Passive Income by author and speaker Jim DeSico today. The Power of Passive Income, available now at Amazon.com and Barnes & Noble bookstores nationwide.
I'm William Shatner, and this is Jimmy. Animals like Jimmy are often left behind by people fleeing hurricanes, fires, floods, and earthquakes. These abandoned animals cannot survive on their own. If you must evacuate your home, please never leave an animal behind. If you absolutely cannot take your animal with you, never leave him helplessly chained or caged. Many animals die because they cannot escape fires or rising waters. Animals need your help. Thank you.
Call PETA today, 757-622-PETA.
And we're back. You're listening to Millionaire Mindset for Life. I'm your host, Jim DeSico. We're on live today with Phoenix and his wife, Kristine. So, Phoenix, let's continue this a little bit further. Tell our listeners, really, we've been talking about pieces of the book. I mean, what is the book? What's the goal of the book? I mean, what inspired you to put this work out? If you were to summarize it, what is the purpose of Phoenix, the Phoenix Rising book?
It's to send a message and a healing to the people of the world, of all nationalities, ages, race, creeds, color, religion. That's my mission. And as I will say, I want to be the voice that can speak for the ones that cannot speak, and the echoes of our great leaders. That's what I want to do. That's my mission. So believe it or not, once the recordings were completed, the book is officially in print, but yes, now the audio book is going to be there with your voice on it. And every time that I go to the gym, if I'm home and I'm just meditating or doing something, a new beginning for me now as a healing and an inspiration is listening to your voice every day. Because as I told you, your voice has this magical tone to it that it automatically draws people to it. And if I know I'm not easily sold on, as they say, people with the BS and telling me this and can sell me on that, but I'm listening to your tone of voice, and it's very hypnotic to where I know it's not hypnotic in a negative way. It's hypnotic in a healing and positive way. So I listen to it since the recording's been recorded from you. I listen to it to give me motivation. I could be at that gym jogging. I could be on the elliptical. I put it on because what you're doing is echoing my words through audio to reiterate to me, this is how I need to continue living. This is how I need to continue being with my life. And if this man's voice can hypnotize me to healing myself and to stand strong and stand balanced, then just think what it will do to the all public out there, the entire masses of the world that get the chance to listen to your voice and to hear the words, my words spoken through your voice.
Resonating, yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's an amazing thing. And so for our listeners out there, and again, the audio, what we're talking about here is the audio version of the book as well as the printed the printed version. But the audio, making it convenient to play it in the car, play it on your iPod, play it whatever in the background, and to give that energy of keeping you on track. It's something. It's more than just a positive message. It's actual information about unraveling some of the essence of what we're living in here, and further opening your mind to other possibilities about the nature of what we're actually living in here, which is this experience, this human experience.
Right. Getting spiritually connected, balancing your life, overcoming weaknesses, developing new skills. All these things are self-motivating in themselves because everything you do for self is going to, exponentially grow and build more and more positiveness and more opportunity for you as you start living today and live free. One of your favorite sayings, Phoenix.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
That's so true.
Yeah.
So for some of our listeners, let's say, a lot of times I'll hear people that, they're cynical. They go, oh, well, that's easy for you. You work with celebs, or, I've tried that stuff before. It doesn't work. Sometimes, as you know, as a coach, we've both coached and done these things that sometimes people will defend, and they're in a lot of pain. You have compassion. They're in a lot of pain. They're saying, I'm trying this. It hasn't worked. What would be something that you could help them to gently shift their point of view, that they could actually start to experience this in a different way?
My word to them would be is to cleanse their mind and to cleanse their heart. In order for them to shift and to metamorphose themselves into what they want themselves to be on a positive level, on the right level, to get on the right track of life, is to cleanse their mind and their heart. Because they have to rid themselves of all the toxins that develop in their body for so many years. They work, they're stressed out from work. Sometimes their family is not balanced. Their own personal lives are not balanced. And they need to seek healing. And by seeking healing, it's listening to people that can get them on the right track, such as yourself, me, and other motivational speakers, positive ones. And not just any motivational speaker can change one life. Because the reason why I feel that they can't, because their heart may not be into it. Your heart got to be into what you do. So if they can open themselves up to that, to the positive words, first they need to start with their mind. You've got to cleanse that mind.
Yeah.
And once that mind is cleansed, then from there, the body, the spirit, and the soul will follow. It's easy, but it's not. I know it's easier said than done, but once you clear that mind, everything else comes easy. And you get to see life differently. You get to see it from a different perspective and say, was that me? Was I always living like this? Did I always think like that? Why did I have that much hate in me? Why was I living in darkness? Yeah. But now you come into the light and you see it differently now. Life is it's a beautiful thing to explore and to see life for what it is. And remember one thing, we're here for a limited time. It's like a warranty. It's just for a limited time. So you want to make, So you want to make the best of this time that you're here, so that when it comes time to prepare ourselves spiritually, you can cross over without a problem. Yeah. Because you had released yourself of all of the anxiety, all of the anger, all of the hate, all of the pain. You got rid of all of that because you cleanse your body. You cleanse your mind. You can let it go because it's toxic. No one wants this. I don't believe no one in their right mind wants to be dark. But somehow they let themselves get caught up in their everyday life and their surroundings, the environment. And before you know it, you're caught in a whirlwind of nothing but a tornado of havoc and darkness.
Because dark energy has a lot more power and force than positive energy. And that's how they easily get sucked into it. And it just keeps pulling and pulling and pulling. And if you don't have enough positive energy to resist and repel, it keeps sucking you in.
Yeah, yeah. Right. You know, I read about a person who he was severely disabled. And so, he really couldn't do much with his body. And so he enriched himself with these, like you were saying, these talks and listening to motivational speakers and listening to stories of extraordinary achievement. And what happened was a very interesting effect came into play, is that he filled his mind with story after story, day after day, hours and hours of all of these extraordinary achievements by people, that it became normal. It became a commonplace. Like this is how the world is now, because he had filled his world with all of this extraordinary activity and achievement, and he was able to generate millions of dollars in income and contribute significance, even though in many ways not much was expected of him given his condition. And so maybe that's the place to start, is and those are wonderful things that you're suggesting for all of our listeners, for all of us to remember, Phoenix, that to begin to let go. Just as they say, you're going to do a body cleanse and get rid of the toxins in your body, but do that mental cleanse. Start to let go. What are you holding on to, really? What are you upset about? Who are you still mad about? Why do you still feel this way? And you don't even need to necessarily know why, but if you feel these feelings, just simply try letting them go. Just let them go. Try that for a change instead of holding on to it. So
it is so heavy. It's heavy.
It's very heavy. The man is keeping me down. That guy bested me. This one took my idea, and now he's selling it.
Right.
This I could have done better in business if it wasn't for that one. Right. I can't believe that negative review is taking me out. I mean, look, take action on the things that need, if you got a leaky pipe, you got to fix it, okay? Like do the practical stuff, but at the same time, let go of all that extra commentary and noise and energy and just see it for what it is. Got a leaky pipe, just fix it and get on. Somebody bested you, okay, they bested you, but you know what? Move on. See how you find a strategy to continue to do what you do. And make your decisions based upon, it's an ancient philosophy that if you can make your decisions based upon what's good for you and what's good for your immediate circle and for what's good for everybody else that is not really causing harm, it's probably the right decision. And and go from that space. So these are something we always like in Millionaire Mindset to provide some practical action list stuff that people can get into right now. Get into it right now. This right while they're listening. Right today that they can already achieve. You can measure it. You can check it off. You know what? I no longer hate that guy anymore. I'm going to check that off because who cares? I want to feel good. You do it. And the mantra here is that why do we do all this stuff? Why should I forgive that guy? Why should I let go of all these past things? Because you do it for you, your experience. Yes. Do it for you. Forgive that person so that you can feel better. If let go of all that hate and anxiety of what you don't have, get into gratitude of what you do have. And sometimes, believe me, we're all human. It's a challenge when you're feeling down and you're overwhelmed with emotion and someone says, just get into gratitude. You're like, get away from me. But you've just take pause that someone is compassion. They're showing compassion, saying, hey, breathe a little bit. And it starts with physiology. This is my mantra all the time. And from Anthony Robbins, the physiology leads your state. We must start with the physiology. So if you haven't slept and you don't have the nutrition and your body's covered with toxins or you're not breathing, you'll find it. When you're anxious, freaking out, you're not breathing. They're actually adopted that this breathing technique for the special forces military. That when they're in this deep combat thing and they're under fire and they're hiding, crawling behind like a brick wall or whatever and trying not to get shot or blown up, They have this training to get into this breathing so they can get present and centered, right? And think about that.
I've done that this morning, and I've done it when I was in that garage working out. Somewhere mid 30 minutes to 40 minutes into that workout, after I accelerated so much energy, I'm going in for my second wind. But it releases something in the body if you breathe properly. And just from you explaining this to your viewers and your listeners right now, you just automatically instructed my mind to start breathing a different way.
Right.
Immediately, the minute you started speaking, I didn't say anything, but I'm over here breathing, inhaling and exhaling differently, but deeply, because at the same time, what you just do, you just sent that energy to me. I just accepted and received that energy. I took a deep breath and a whole mouthful of that energy. That energy just entered my body, and I'm using it now. So what it just done for me just now, just this very moment, was empower me. So I feel energized and I feel energetic. So what I'm going to do after this interview is over, I plan on, as usual, going to that gym.
Going to the gym.
And there you go. So now, because he's right now, he's the inspiration. Even to, as I say, you preaching to the choir. I'm the choir, and Jim is preaching to me. But what he's doing to me, he's going to make me go out and do a hell of a performance.
So you're both one and the same. You're both the preacher and the choir.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Phoenix has arranged a special gift for our listeners today. We're so grateful for that, Phoenix. Thank you. You can email Phoenix at phoenixthepower.com. and mention the Millionaire Mindset Show. He's giving away 5 free copies of the physical book. He will mail you out a free copy of the book. Just contact him through phoenixthepower.com and mention Millionaire Mindset Show to receive a free copy. 5 free copies, the first 5 people. So check that out. And again, Phoenix, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having us. I appreciate everything you've done for us. Thank you so much, Jim.
Well, we have been the pleasure of having Phoenix and Kristine live with us today on Millionaire Mindset for Life. And as always, for all of us out there, every day, remember, live, love, and light. We'll see you next time. Spike up.